and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last.
Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate Shikoin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilio. A slight chance of showers and storms tonight with a low of 77. A better chance of rain and storms on Wednesday with a high of 91. With one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities, the Great Wall has been your destination for Mandarin and Sichuan flavors since 1981. The Great Wall is on France Avenue along the Minneapolis-Edina City line just north of 50th Street. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakan. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Jaji. Hey, this portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Trading Post. Shop now at cause-cart.shop and search Native Roots to find your resist gear. Pinigigi for all your support. I should say that again. Hey. Cause-cart.shop.
That's like a tongue twister here, and I have a jet lag, and I'm a little sleepy, and I know it's hot out here, Jalisa, and
it's hot. Yes,
it's making me a little sleepy. Hey, do you have any word for the day, or would you like to say your name and maybe tell people what Ho Chunk word of the day, and tell people what your name is, or either way?
Yes. No, yeah,
Go ahead.
let's do that. Let's start with that for sure today. My native name, my Ho-Chunk name is Chasha Wakaha Winga. And so if you break that down, that means Holy Eagle Woman. My Choka Curtis and Tega, or my cousin Dallas, they gave me that name through ceremony. And so the Winga is one way to say woman in Ho-Chunk. I actually looked this up on the app. There are other ways to say woman, but Winga is one way to say woman. The Chashep is just plain eagle. So there's other words to specify bald eagle and that kind of thing, but Chashep is eagle. And then the Wakaha is some type of like way to say spiritual or holy. You know, obviously some words don't translate directly to English. And I think it was actually kind of funny. This is kind of a funny fact about the Wakaha part. Cousin Dallas said, you know, be very careful. You don't just say waka, because waka means snake in Ho-Chunk. So there's a few words for you all today. So you have to be very specific.
That's awesome. And one of the things too that's embedded in your name is our clan. And
Yes.
that's really important, and really important for a lot of reasons. You don't want to marry anyone that's in your clan, and so, you know, things like that. So you always, like, when you go to those powwows and you're interested in somebody, you go, what clan are you in? Oh, wow.
Exactly. That's like the running joke, because it's true. If your clan, you know, your clan is really your family, right? So what clan are you? And if someone doesn't know, it's like, well, fine, you know, hopefully they know their clan.
Right. Well, and that's interesting too. Just a little tidbit about Ho-Chunk too, that we were way down in the number of people because of, you know, we had our own Trail of Tears, about 6 of them. We were moved all around, you know, the 5-state area here, and starting in Wisconsin, but we'd been all over living until the settlers came here and tried to move us off our land, which they were successful for. And so I just wanted to say that, you know, we've been here for 10,000 years, but we also, it's really important to know what clan you're in. And what I was going to say, I just forgot. You just watched me forget what I was going to say. But what I was going to say is that we're related to so many people because we were so less of us. You know, in Ho-Chunk, I think there's not 8,000 citizens at Ho-Chunk, and another, our relatives in Winnebago. There's another 3,000 people there, but we were down to 700 people at one time.
Wow. That's actually so fascinating. Well,
It is.
We're lucky we're still here.
Hey, we gotta get our guest on here, and hopefully Gabby has a camera here. We're gonna add her to the show here. And there's Gabby right now. Introduce yourself, Gabby.
All right, Bojo Jayak. My name is Gabby Menomin. My Potawatomi name is Kwekabnok. I come from the Bullhead clan, but I'm here today as a staff member of Wakan Tipi Gabby, so a native-led environmental nonprofit based out of St. Paul, Minnesota here.
Yeah, there's been so many fun things. I remember when Wakan Tipi kind of was still the Bruce Vento, and I brought students down there, and we went down there and planted sage and some berries, and I can't remember what else, but I've heard that was quite a few years ago, but I hear some of it's growing now.
Yep, the sage is doing beautifully down there. I just saw it the other day. It's getting really tall right now.
So tell our friends, and Jalisa, you can chime in too, Gabby, is that we don't pull the sage out. We put tobacco out, and if you have a knife, you can cut it like 4 inches above it so it comes back.
Yeah, that's what I was taught. That's what I'm seeing is working the best, and to keep, you know, the population sustainable. And obviously, you know, just taking what you need as well. We've been trying to teach people about, you know, how to properly harvest plants in our medicine garden. So I'm glad to see that it's also working down at the sanctuary as well.
Excellent. Hey, Gabby, there's a BioBlitz event coming up. I don't know what that is. tell our listeners and let's get it out there to the community.
Yeah, so we have this is our second year doing this event, our annual BioBlitz at Wakan Tipi. And so a BioBlitz, it is a big citizen science data collection event. And it looks different depending on who's putting it on, but the way that we run our event is we invite a number of different environmental professionals, people who are, experts in areas such as bees, dragonflies, trees, vegetation as well, a number of different environmental professionals. And we have them lead these like survey stations with community members, participants, and just trying to learn how to identify the different species that are living down at Wakan Tipi. And so really this is for anyone with any level of experience in the outdoors with identification, any age levels as well. All of our partners that are going to be coming and running stations have experience working with community and making sure that people are, learning and having fun as well. So the date for this is August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll have lunch for folks as well, which is going to be really fun. And we're just hoping for like a really fun day, trying to figure out who's all living down at Wakan Tipi.
Wow, that's cool. That's very cool. I have a question because we have a bee garden in our front yard here. We're inner city. Are there different kinds of dragonflies?
Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of dragonflies. I don't know how many exactly, but if you come to the BioBlitz, the Dragonfly Society, who's leading the dragonfly surveys, they'd be able to tell you all about the different species. And I know something that I learned from them is there's actually a couple migratory species of dragonflies as well. Kind of similar to birds, they migrate down south in the winter.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
like my dragonfly is kind of a city dragonfly, wraps and things like that. So that's very cool. We only got a minute left here, Gabby, and we want you to come on here and talk more about Wakan Tipi and the history and things like that. We're really excited to have you on, and I know good things have been happening over the years down there, so we're excited to talk about Wakan Tipi. Hey, Jalisa, we're going to be right back after this short break.
Yes, stay with us, everyone.
Hey, Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nacd.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
Hey, this portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we have our new friend, Gabby on the line with us, and we're talking about Wakan Tipi and what's going on here in the Bio Blitz and the difference between a inner city dragonfly and maybe a migratory country one that likes country music. Well, welcome back, Gabby.
Yeah, hi, thanks.
So let's let everybody know again. It's August 2nd, the Bio Blitz, and where it is and what time.
Yep, so August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's going to be down at Wakan Tipi, the place formerly known as Bruce Bento Nature Sanctuary. I think the best address to send people to in Google Maps so it doesn't drop you off right in the middle of the interstate is 293 Commercial Street in St. Paul.
Very cool. So there's a lot of history with, and you just mentioned that it was originally named Bruce Bento Sanctuary, and Bruce Bento was a big Democrat, former teacher and a representative for many, many years here. Really, talk about the name change, and I know that's been really just came up here recently that the name was changed officially.
Yeah, so the name change. So that recently just happened, a little over a month ago. So we, the sanctuary that we work in, previously was called Bruce Bento Nature Sanctuary after it was transferred from railroad property to City of St. Paul Parks and Rec property. And like I said, about a month ago, St. Paul City Council officially renamed it to Wakan Tipi to, reflect the sacred site that lies within the sanctuary.
Yeah, it is a sacred site, and I know there's those birthing caves, and there's a lot of things going on, and it's below like Mounds Park, which I think they changed the name to Mounds Park too, didn't they?
Yep, we Happy.
And that's a Dakota word, correctly? Correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Very cool. Wow, Jalisa, that's exciting. I know you're living in Minneapolis now, but you've lived in St. Paul before, and Wakan Tipi's got it going on. What else would you like to talk about, Gabby?
Yeah, I think maybe another update. The Wakan Tipi Center is still under construction. I know people in the community are anticipating, being the building being open, and so construction, still ongoing. A knock on wood, we're going to be able to move into the building sometime in September, and we're hoping to do a kind of community, volunteer day on October 11th. Get folks out to the site and see the building. And hopefully another larger community gathering sometime in 2026 to officially open the building. So I just wanted to give that update, just because I know people are very, very excited about the building opening.
How big of the building is, and remind our listeners that you guys had to do a lot of fundraising, so it's not just going to be like a shed out the backyard. It's already got a lot of beautiful things. I've heard. I've been trying to sneak down there with Barry Hand and Maggie to show me what's going on, but our schedules haven't jived. Talk a little bit about the process and how big the building's going to be.
Yeah, so this has been a very long-term project. I think it's been going on for over 10 years, I know. But the building, it's about 7,500 square feet. We have a teaching kitchen in the building. We have our office spaces for us Wakan Tipi staff. There's going to be a pretty big classroom space in there as well, a little conference room. And outside of the building, there's a lot of amazing landscaping planned as well. We have a Four Sisters garden that we're going to be planting next year. A lot of medicinal and traditional food plants as part of the landscaping. We're calling it the teaching gardens outside of the building as well. And so really this building is going to be a place of homecoming for Dakota and other Indigenous people to, have a space when they come visit the sacred site, for community to come and host their events, host ceremonies, host meetings, things like that. And really a home for us as an organization as well.
That's awesome too, and what I really like too, being a lifelong St. Paul person, is that this is happening in St. Paul, and I know all the work that's been put into. Do you know? And this is way before your time, Gabby, but do you know how much topsoil they had to bring in there? Because, like you said early on, it was it was first a railroad place, so that was very polluted.
Yeah, so my understanding, like if you were to go down to the sanctuary right now, the gated section that the construction project is in, I think about 4 feet of soil was removed from the site, and then 4 more feet was brought back of clean soil. There's other portions of the sanctuary that have soil that was removed and remediated and clean soil brought in. But yeah, that's kind of the soil situation there. And I mean, it wasn't just the railroad that contributed to pollution. There was an oil refinery on site in the past. It was an unofficial city dump. So I mean, the sacred site has been through a lot, and there's a lot of healing that has been, taken into consideration and implemented. But there's still a lot of work to be done as well.
Wow, that's some really good background information. Jalisa, do you have any questions? Because that's amazing that they can do that, and there's a lot to be done. When you take that much dirt out of there and then bring in clean 4 feet of clean dirt through the whole place.
Absolutely, yeah. All of this is just great information. I guess I'm just curious, Gabby, about you. How long have you worked there, and how's your experience been?
Yeah, so I've been working with Wakan, Tipi, and Gabby for about 2.5 years, actually back when we were still called Lower Phelan Creek Project.
Oh, sure.
And funny thing, actually, before I started working, I was a garden steward in the medicine garden up at Rivoli Bluffs. So I was a volunteer before I became a staff member. And Maggie nabbed me up right at the end of my the classes I was taking for my master's degree, and so I was like, okay, I'll stay here. I won't move back to Wisconsin. I'll stick around here and see what it's like. And I've loved it ever since.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I mean, honorable too to be a volunteer, and then as a person that's hiring to hire somebody on that had already been volunteering just makes sense. That's great.
Yeah, and maybe you'll start cheering for the Vikings now that you're here. Oh, wow.
I have, but don't tell my family. They're all Packers fans.
I have my Vikings earrings on right now. For our listeners, they're light purple and light gold. So.
Well, we have to be careful, Gabby, because we're on 20 stations in Wisconsin too. So we have to play nice. We have to play nice, but you get a lot of street credit being a Potawatomi person. So where did you get your master's in?
I got my master's degree at the University of Minnesota here in the Twin Cities.
Nice.
It's in tribal natural resource management, and it was actually a new track that was brought on as part of like the natural resources master's program that they have over there. And that was like halfway through my program that they introduced that, and I was already doing the classes for it anyways. So I got to switch over to that because it was the most applicable to what I was interested in and what I wanted to do in my career. So.
Oh, incredible.
That is incredible. And I'm a Gopher too, so go Gophers. Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. So this is really interesting, really cool to get to know you. And I just think the work down there is really cool, and it's cool that am I saying cool too much, Jalisa? I have jet lag. I came back from New York here, and I'm a little punchy here, but that's a whole nother show. And then later on, we're gonna have Jase Rowe on Auntie Jase, so we're gonna have a lot of fun there. Gabby, really, do you have any? What I was going to ask you is, do you have any word you want to let our listening audience know a Potawatomi word or anything like that, or your native name?
Yeah, so I can introduce my clan. So my clan, I'm from the bullhead clan, which is a fish, and how we say that in Potawatomi is wasi. And I know Ojibwe folks, some communities they say awasi, but Potawatomi we took out a lot of vowels compared to our Ojibwe relatives, so just wasi for us.
Nice.
So like Ho-Chunk's kind of close to a Siouan language, but I always tell the Dakotas that they got their language from us, but they don't get happy when I say that. So yours is kind of a Ojibwe down in that way?
Yeah, so it's Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. We all have really, really similar languages. I mean, we were all one people back on the East Coast before, we migrated over to the Great Lakes here.
Right on. Hey, we got a minute left. Can you give everyone the date again about the BioFest and how people can find you? Maybe a website and Facebook?
Yep. So the BioBlitz is August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Wakan Tipi, or formerly Bruce Bento Nature Sanctuary. You can find out more information on our website, wakantipi.org/events. And you can register there, and I'll make sure to save a lunch for y'all if you register.
Oh, right on. I'm always up for a free T-shirt and free food. I guess that's my middle name. Hey, thank you so much, Gabby, for coming on. We got to have you on again too when we get closer to that date. So really great to meet you. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and up next, Auntie Jase. We can't wait for the positive vibes and what he has to say. It's really good. This is Native Roots Radio, and be right back.
Stay with us.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikowin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Your time is precious. Why are you still mowing your own lawn? I'm Alex Knorr, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. At Buzzcut Mowing, I offer weekly mowing, leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I work hard so you can relax and enjoy time with family and friends. Call today and I'll handle the rest. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. The month of July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, Zero Res is offering a purchase of 3 rooms of carpet clean. Get 1 room free plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. Maybe you're having a barbecue for the 4th of July. We'll also have Aquatennial coming up in Minneapolis later this month. You want to make sure your home is fresh and clean for your friends and family coming over to celebrate. If your carpet's looking more like a snowbank in late March, muddy, crunchy, and kind of mysterious, it's time to call Zero Res, don't you know? These folks come in with their fancy schmancy ZR water. It's like regular water, but with a master's degree in cleanliness. Zero Res can handle it all. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res today. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-0-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. A slight chance of showers and storms tonight with a low of 77. A better chance of rain and storms on Wednesday with a high of 91. With one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities, the Great Wall has been your destination for Mandarin and Sichuan flavors since 1981. The Great Wall is on France Avenue along the Minneapolis-Edina City line just north of 50th Street. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
Hey, this portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, awesome. We have our friend Jase Rowe on. So excited. You know, Jase, I want to introduce you as like one of the most positive people that I follow on any kind of format, whether it's Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. I really appreciate coming on and appreciate you for being you.
Nais, I really do appreciate this opportunity, and I thank you for the compliments. It's wonderful to be here, and I'm grateful to be back. And having a voice is just so wonderful and a platform to spread positivity, especially in these times where there's a lot of messaging out there, I feel like, meant to divide us and meant to keep us in fear. I think it's important to remind people to chase your happiness and find those pockets of joy. It's part of self-care. You know, joy is resistance. That's what I keep saying over and over again.
Absolutely. And you know, I didn't realize this, but I've been really following you a lot lately since you were on our show a couple weeks ago, is that you are a pretty good dancer. Oh, wow.
You know, what better way to start the day out and like while you're waiting for your coffee and just start dancing. And I think that like releases like endorphins, and it's just fun to like get other people involved and have people tell me, you know what, I started dancing too in the morning, and I started like enjoying your music that you pick out, and I love it. I don't think I can dance, but I sure try.
Well, it's awesome, and I can't dance very well either. Can I, Lisa? I'm not a very
y'all actually, Judge, you can dance. And I think that Jase can too. I think it's not one of those things where you can or can't, right? It's just our own expression. It's all good.
Yeah, you just let the music move you. That's you just move with the groove, and you just find your groove, and you just start dancing. I like that phrase, dance like nobody's watching. And that's kind of what I roll with when I just press like record. I just dance like nobody's watching, and I just have a fun time with it. And I kind of got over that embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? I think once you get over that, you're able just to kind of get in the moment.
Oh, nice.
Well, you know what's interesting too? I just realized this. That both of you work in the community, and Jalisa, you are a drug and alcohol counselor too, and especially specializing in Native American clients, and Jase, you are too. And I always want to ask, what do you do? And I'll start with you, Jase. What do you do? And I know, and this is for our audience that doesn't know you. What do you do to take care of yourself? And I really always like asking that.
I think talking about whatever I'm going through with my fellow coworkers. Today, I can give an example. You know, we stay with our clients for X amount of time, and they, our hope is that they graduate, right? And our program, they can stay for about a year if they'd like. And I just had a client that was with us for a long time graduate today. And it pulled at my heartstrings. It really did, because it's the ending of a chapter where you're working with them day in and day out, and you're talking with them, you're checking in with them weekly, and they go on to the next phase of their recovery. And that's when we got to break ties and say, okay, I wish you the best of luck. And that's hard at times. And so today I was struggling a little bit, and I was able to talk to my coworkers about it and, talk through it. And then also coming home and remembering to leave work at work as much as I can and focus in on my hobbies, social media. I have a beautiful garden here. We have a beautiful boulevard garden here that I love tending to. I love the flowers this time of year, and getting out in nature, I think, really helps me out a lot. And remembering that this is just part of the job. Like I'm here to help. I'm here to be a helper among helpers, and hopefully just wish them well on their journey, and know that, they're going to be coming back for aftercare. I'm going to be able to see them, and I'm going to be able to continue working with them on a limited basis. But knowing that that's part of the job is just, we got to close some chapters and have those boundaries and reinforce those boundaries for the for not only for my own health, but for theirs as well, so they can continue on their journey and form those other relationships and continue, with their recovery. So it's a lot at times, though. It can pull at your heartstrings. That's for sure. If you're not practicing self-care, I think a job like this will burn you out awfully quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I know, Jalisa, one of the good things I love about my daughter here is that she has really good boundaries, and what you really do, and that's good. What else do you do, Jalisa?
Yeah, I mean, boundaries, when I think of boundaries, I think of balance, right? And I say this to my clients all the time, and I say this to myself, and I talk about it with my coworkers. Like Jay said, I think that's a great example. I mean, I'm in what we call case consult meeting every day, and it's really very supportive environment. I'm very lucky that I have such good directors and coworkers. But yeah, to talk about it and to really be able to just be yourself in a appropriate, professional environment with your coworkers, because you can't really put that on the clients, right? So I think that's such a great example that I do as well. But yeah, with back to boundaries, I mean, just a balance. I mean, we're all so different, right? Some of us thrive so well on being extremely busy, right? Some of us thrive on working 40 to 50 hours. Some of us, like myself, I actually work only 32 hours. And then I'm able to have a little bit more time for like my artistic things and be home a little bit more and things like that. So like I had to find my balance, and then know when to say no, but also just be a hard worker too. Know when to say yes as well.
Yeah,
I like that 32 hours. I do. I actually work Monday, Tuesday. I have Wednesdays off, and then I work Thursday, Friday, 4-day work week. And I think for me, like you said, balance, that really does give me time to work on my other hobbies, or just have a day of like mental health care, right?
Exactly. And that's what I do too. I do Tuesday through Friday. So instead of Wednesdays like yourself, I have Mondays off. But I mean, you're an artist, Jase. I'm an artist, Judge, you too. It's like we fill our time so quickly. And it's like, what's so great for me, and maybe I can speak for both of you too, it certainly seems this way, is that our work doesn't feel like work, and everything's so intertwined, right? So it's like, we're artists too, and then we're using those skills to help people, and then like you said, just being joyful, that's another form of for us, resistance, right? And I was going to say too, when my Jaji over here, Robert, when he introduced and said you're one of the most positive people, I would like to add you're one of the most positive people, and also one of the most realist people. So I love that about you. What a great balance to have that joy and spread that to everybody, and also just be really upfront and real about some things that are going on in our nations.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do.
That is a great point. And we talked a little bit about this the last time or the time before you were on, and that's that we have to keep things straight in our own community too, whether it's lateral oppression and things like that, or we can go anywhere from, are you enrolled, are you real Indian, are you a inner city Indian, and those things for me roll off my back, but they also are very hurtful to a lot of people.
Absolutely. I think I face that, especially a lot with my clients too. I feel like sometimes they come in and they don't feel like they're native enough, or they're not, they may not be enrolled, or they might be light skinned. And I try to really enforce the fact that, you know, if you're native, you know, whether you're enrolled or not, and whether you know the traditions of the culture or not, you're still native. This is us who we wake up as. And so we should celebrate it and enjoy the journey and learn what we can, but don't let anybody stop that. You know, just like recovery can take many different forms, but recovery is recovery. We're fighting for our lives at the end of the day. So whatever it looks like, if it works for them, I support it, you know? So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have the
I
same
love that.
conversations. That's great.
I love that. That's the opposite of being judgmental, and people get in trouble if they are too judgmental, because I know, Jase, I've been sober a while, and I know whenever I judge people, I shortly thereafter walk in their shoes. So I tread lightly now.
Yeah, it doesn't get us anywhere when we judge, right? Yeah, and I tell clients too, it's one of those things where there's two sides to it. It's if you don't know your heritage or you don't quite know what's going on, that is always okay, and that's a part of the journey. But then, like, I have one client that comes to my native group every Friday, and he's done his best to ask his mom about his heritage, right? Well, his mom sadly really cuts it off and says, no, you know, ask your grandma. And in a bitter sense, because his grandma's gone. But what that has done is opened these conversations where in some form that we might not know about, that grandma and that mother have some trauma and have some deep rooted issues that now he can be around other Native people and talk about it, even though his own family members are unable for whatever trauma or whatever reason not to share that lineage with him. So.
Absolutely. I think I experienced the same thing as well. You know, my mom went through boarding school. And so when I asked her about our culture, she was like, nope, that's nothing you need to know about. That's nothing you need to concern yourself about. And in reality, she thought she was passing down what she was taught, what was ingrained in her. And it wasn't until I started learning about my culture and learning about what it meant to be Northern Cheyenne for me, that's when I started to heal, and that's when I started to grow, and I started realizing where she learned this from and why it was ingrained in her. And instead of being mad at her, I actually forgave her, and that opened up a lot more doors for me. And you know, I always tell my clients it's a journey, and just remember, we don't get like a prize for being most Native. You know, we don't get a prize for being most sober. What we get is an opportunity to grow and heal and repair that like cycle that a lot of us were stuck in. Instead of passing it down to their kids or to their relatives, they're able to heal that and able to continue to grow as in the culture, you know, in community. And that's the opposite of addiction, is that connection and finding out who we are. And I believe that that's a beautiful journey.
Absolutely. So well said.
Hey, Jase, can you let people know how they can chime in and see you on the different formats? We got a minute left before we go to the next segment.
Yep, absolutely. So on TikTok, I am the Auntie Jase, and I have millions of likes, and I think I'm at like 500,000 followers, or getting closer to 300,000 followers, somewhere like that. And then same on Instagram, the Auntie Jase, and those are my two main platforms that I kind of do my videos on, and I have a following on.
Nice.
Excellent. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be back with Jase Rowe, the Auntie Jase, and Jalisa McKee. This is Robert Pilot, and this is Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Rudy Luther Toyota is the dealer you can trust. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com to browse their inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Style, performance, and reliability, you can find it all at Rudy Luther. With every new and certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll get a Luther Advantage card, save 10 cents per gallon at the pump, and get $6 Works car washes at holiday station stores. That's right, you can get a great vehicle and help stretch your budget even further. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
Hey, in this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
Oh!
Where is it? There it is. Oh!
Oh, wow. Hey, we are here with our friend Auntie Jase, Jase Rowe, the Auntie Jase on TikTok and all your social medias, and of course Jalisa McKee, who's co-hosting this. We had a really nice talk, Jase, about recovery and non-judgmental, and there's things that I've learned over the years, and one of the things I've definitely learned here that now that I'm old, I'm 64, and is I try not to sweat the small stuff and things like that, and also everything's small except, you know, if somebody passes or something, that's a big thing, but everything's small, and I want to give away as much as I can in good vibes and things before I go.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful way to think. And I try to stress that every morning, to just kind of take a moment for yourself every day and remember that we all have a purpose. We're all meant to be here. And I think chasing our joy, I think, is something that's very, very important. And allowing ourselves to remember not to so much focus on the past and the things that we can't control, but be in the moment. And forgiveness, self-forgiveness is a big thing, right? Forgiving ourselves and forgiving others, and being able to move on into the future, whatever goals we might be working on. But I think I think that is a wonderful goal and a wonderful thing to think about. And like I said, I try to remind people every day that we cannot control people, places, or things, especially right now with everything that's going on around us. And, you know, you can turn on the news and you can see doom and gloom, and news that's meant to instill fear into us. I think taking moments for ourselves, going for a walk in nature, being by the water or being by the trees and actually hanging out with the trees, I think they hold a lot of healing energy, and they're connecting with the earth, taking off our shoes and really grounding ourselves with the dirt or with the sand, whatever it may be, I think is a really important lesson for us to remember, and it allows us to be in the moment. And that's something I really try to stress in the morning on my lives, that self-care and taking time for ourselves is a form of resistance, is a form of not feeding into that fear and that hate and division that we see so often now, simply by turning on the TV or listening to the radio. You know, I think that's a really important lesson that was taught to me and that I try to pass down to others.
You know what's interesting too, and I like to bring this up, you two. Excuse me, I'm having a coughing attack.
Oh no.
I like to bring up the fact that, we have a lot of people listening to us on progressive stations across the country here, and that you guys out there, our white allies, have been colonized too. And I want to remind them, that they had their own ways and their own ways of thinking before they were colonized. And Native Americans are almost the last frontier of not being colonized totally, and we're still here. But they had the same thoughts at one time and the same feelings about taking your shoes off and feeling the land and walking around on the dirt.
Mhm. I think that's really important to remind people. And I try to stress that as well as, find out about your own culture, find out about those traditions that may have been lost. And I feel like there's strength in that. Once you find out where you are and where you came from, you can figure out where you want to go and how to stay connected. I think that connection with the earth is really, really important, especially now. You see different weather patterns, you see the heat, rising every day. We have the fires up right now in Canada. I think that's all evidence of us losing that connection with the earth. And I feel like that's very important for every culture to learn about and respect and get back to. So before it's too late,
Yeah, definitely. Good words. I always honor my wife because she always says to me when she's on, she goes, ask Jase what he wants to talk about, or ask the guests what they want to talk about. So we got a few more minutes here. I'd love to hear what you'd like to talk about, and maybe give us, if you want, a little preview of what you do early in the morning with your followers.
Okay. That kind of being put on the spot. Yeah, I think that.
Well, we don't have to do that. I don't want to put you on the spot. I just enjoy you and enjoy your positivity and things like that. But if there's anything you'd like to talk about, or Jalisa too, you have any questions? I know you guys know each other for a while here.
Well, I actually wanted to respond to what Jase just said too, because I thought that is so the two side, kind of going back to my theme of balance, in terms of being Native or even not having Native lineage to this land. And, people feel so disconnected, but I encourage them to do the work, to look into your lineage as best you can. And then, really divulge. I think a lot of people feel disconnected to their own culture, or specifically, I can speak from my own of Native culture, Ho-Chunk culture, because they haven't put in the work into it as well. So I talk about that a lot with my clients too, of saying, and, just my peers and things like that too, but to say, it's okay, wherever you're at, but now let's get connected. Let's start going to powwows. Let's start showing up. Let's start introducing ourselves. And, maybe that's pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and that's a good thing. So I love that, even other cultures. And I actually encourage my white folk clients to also learn about the Red Road and Native culture. Because I always say, hey, we're all connected to that culture because it is the people of this land. So that's also your history too.
Well, yeah, just like the medicine wheel, right? We have the 4 colors. And once we all come together, we can form that wheel and start learning from each other and learning from every culture has a role to teach. That's what I've been taught. And so I think once we are able to open up our mind, we can learn from each other and we can grow and we can heal. But I think being open-minded is the big thing there as well. And knowing that I think in a lot of ways, sometimes our culture has been romanticized. And so I think once we get past that romanticism, I think people are more open to learn about their own culture and to grow from that. And I think that's a wonderful place to be. I think that, having pride in where you're from, because your people, everybody's people, had struggle in order for us to be here today. And I think that's healing to learn about, whatever culture or whatever race you're from.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I guess I was trying to say those words. See, Auntie, you took the words and regurgitated them in a good way here, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, we're down to the last minute and a half here. Please let our listeners know again, because some of them may be driving. We're on the radio, and maybe driving, but how people can connect with you and your good words daily and just the positive vibes.
You know, I go live every morning here on TikTok. I go live and at 6:30 on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I go live from 6:30 until about 7:45 or 8 o'clock, and I read some meditations. We do a smoke cleanse. I do a Zen meditation. I do a guided meditation. I read out of meditation books. I usually talk for a little bit. I talk about current events. I talk about pop culture. And I've grown quite a following, which is really nice. I have a lot of regulars that come in every day. And we just have a good time. And so on Wednesdays and on the weekends, it's more around about 7 o'clock. I don't get on so early, about 7 o'clock or 7:30, and I go for about a couple hours as well. So I try to go about 7 days a week. I'm on live in the mornings.
That's so awesome. And again, thank you for spending time with us. I really enjoy it, and I hope we can do this every couple of weeks. Really,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Fills my heart to have this kind of talk, Jalisa.
Yes, me too. We could talk another hour, I think.
Yep.
Hey, Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Gigi.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things.